Alright, welcome everyone to another episode of the Horriflick Reviews podcast. My name is Casey, I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about Hulu and the wheel picker app that I have that gives me what movies I should watch on Hulu. So, I just use wheel picker online. I went in, there's over, oh my goodness, how many? There are over 150 horror movies on Hulu. Out of 150, I have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 movies on Hulu. And some of them are good, some of them are great, and others are not bad, but really bad too. So the first one I've seen is 47 Meters Down. I'm just going to kind of go through every single one of these movies that I have seen and then tell you my honest opinion on them. So 47 Meters Down came out a few years ago about two girls, Mexico, cage diving, getting stuck underwater 47 meters down, surrounded by sharks. This movie scared me when I saw it. The ending was a twist. It was great. As of right now, I would probably put this movie at an 8 out of 10 just because it was kind of original, it was scary, it was twisted, and I haven't seen Uncaged yet, so I can't, compare the two, but for being one of the first, shark horror movies I had seen, I'd say an 8 out of 10. The next is Annabelle Creation. I believe this is the third installment of Annabelle, but 4, 5, 6 on the Conjuring list. I don't know. I used to be a really big Conjuring fan, but they've kind of gotten watered down. They've gotten old, and it's just not really my thing anymore. This movie is about the creation of this Annabelle doll. I believe it befriends a little girl. I believe the little girl can't walk. She's either in a wheelchair, she uses crutches, she broke her leg, something's going on with that. I don't remember a lot about the plot, but I do remember this movie being scary. But because it's not a memorable movie, I'm going to put it at a 7 out of 10. Still a good Conjuring movie. It was before they got really bad, and this movie was scary, and I remember it being scary. It gets a 7 out of 10. The next one is, it's called Funhouse. It is I think from the UK, from Germany, somewhere. They're speaking another language. I don't remember. I've written about this movie on our Instagram page at Horriflick Reviews on Instagram, and I think it was the first movie I reviewed, and I was being brutally honest about actors from the UK. So it was the UK. But in my review, I discuss how the acting was horrible. It has Walter Skarsgård in it, and he's not a bad actor, but the acting overall was just not my favorite, if I could just say something about it. But the idea is that it's a bunch of influencers from TV, social media, whatever. They're all thrown into a house to live together, like many social media influencers do nowadays. They move into this house together, and everything's being recorded, streamed online, and the outer world votes on their favorite people and their least favorite people, and slowly, one by one, the least favorites get brutally killed. Everyone thinks it's fake, but the people inside the funhouse know what's going on. This movie was gory, it was fun, it was original, and I liked it. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Ooh, actually, I shouldn't give it that high. I think I'm gonna rate it the same as Annabelle. I changed my mind. It's a 7 out of 10 movie. I don't remember what the Instagram says, but this movie is memorable. It's a fun time. It's gory, and it doesn't hold back, which I like about a movie. The next movie is Haunt. This was a Shudder original. It's now on Hulu. This is my favorite Shudder original movie. And it's about a group of teenagers on Halloween trying to find a haunted house that all their friends are at. They take a wrong turn to this other haunted house, and one by one they get killed. This movie is gory, it's bloody, it's funny, it's original. It's a great original movie. And honestly, it makes me scared to give other Shudder originals a try. There's going to be a later episode about Shudder originals, but this one takes the cake. This is a 9.5 out of 10, my favorite. The next movie is not a 9.5 out of 10 and is nowhere near being my favorite, and this is I'm Just Fucking With You. This is a Hulu original, and it's just not worth your time, honestly. I had little expectations for this movie, and that's exactly what came out of it. This movie is about a guy who's an internet troll online, trolling this girl he was in love with from an unmarked account, and he's on his way to her wedding. They used to be friends, and they're not, but he's still invited to the wedding. He stops at this motel to meet his sister so they can carpool, do whatever. There's no one staying at the hotel. I think there's one guy on a motorcycle, and then there's the guy that owns the hotel. Motel to motel, everything's outside. And this guy is a big trickster. He basically goes around all night terrorizing this guy. Kind of reminds me of the stuff that the main guy in Creep made the cameraman do. Just some weird stuff. And when it gets too far, he goes, "Oh, I'm just fucking with you," and acts like everything should just be fine. This continues the whole night, and it just kind of goes nowhere. The acting's not great. There were some slow parts that made me want to fall asleep. It was an original idea. I'll give it that. Very original, but will not see another movie if it has this premise. This movie gets a 3 out of 10 just for it being an original idea and just for it being mildly entertaining, although incredibly boring. The next movie is called Intruders. This is about a girl who has the fear of going outside. I don't remember what it's called, but she goes outside, she faints, she passes out. She lives in a house by herself, and as you follow her through this night, we witness a bunch of people break in. She's trying to fight them off, whatever. Typical breaking and entering, but lots of violence. And then there's a twist at the end, which I really liked, where she basically traps the intruders, and we learn about her childhood trauma, why she is the way she is, and I believe she kills them. She gets her revenge on them breaking in and terrorizing her, and she kills them. Now, this is a B-film movie. I don't believe it went to theaters, but I liked this movie. My boyfriend and I watched it during quarantine, and it wasn't bad. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. If you're bored and have nothing else to do on a Saturday night, put this movie on. It's a good watch. It's a decent watch. But it's not anything special, so don't have too high of hopes. The next movie is not a movie that everyone likes. It's not a movie that I particularly like, but it was a fun watch, and this is John Dies at the End. There's also a review on this on our Instagram. And I don't remember what I rated it. I'm going to look it up right now, actually. But this movie is basically one big acid trip, if you've ever done acid. And you just feel like nothing is going the way that you thought it would go. This movie is crazy. It takes so many different turns, and it's like watching an anthology of stories, but it's the same two guys. So I said this movie was worth a watch, and I rated it a 7 out of 10. I think that's a little high. I only rated it that high because of the horror and gore elements. The sci-fi gore was good. And So 7 out of 10. Wow. Okay. I mean, I guess that's what I gotta stick with that one. And like I said with Intruders, John Dies at the End is just a movie to have on in the background to watch when there's nothing better to watch on TV on a Saturday night. Or like it's a fun movie to watch with friends, I feel. Like just hanging out, having a good time, put on John Dies at the End and everyone's going to be losing their minds about it. The next one is Jeepers Creepers Reborn. This is the third Jeepers Creepers movie. I remember not liking this movie as much as I liked the other two. Nope, that's a lie. I liked the first Jeepers Creepers, my favorite Jeepers Creepers, and then I liked this one, and then number 2. I think that this one was about the school bus. There's kids on the school bus, 2 new teenagers, whatnot, and I'm going to double check that I'm talking about it right. And it seems that I haven't even watched this movie. I'm talking about the second movie. That's embarrassing. So that is -1 of the Hulu movies that I have seen. And we'll just go right into the next one. This one is also a Shudder original. I believe it's called Phobias, an anthology of people with their phobias. This one I didn't finish. Personally, I couldn't get into it, and I like anthology series. I like anthology movies. And this one just wasn't good. It had a really slow start that made me want to fall asleep. And I really just couldn't get through it. And I should give it another try. If they put it on Hulu, maybe it's worth a watch. As of right now, this movie's getting a 3 out of 10. Just because the idea is good, but for the first 15-25 minutes, it's not entertaining. The next one is a French cult film, Titane. I love this movie. This movie is insane. It's gory, it's twisted, it's weird, it's dark, it's everything that you wouldn't expect from a French film. That's a joke. You would expect this from a French film, just like Raw. Titane is an insanely good watch. It's worth it. If you can get past listening to it in French, do it. The subtitles and hearing them actually speak in French is so much better than listening to an English dub. This movie is about a girl who, at a very young age, got in a car accident. I believe she was hit by a truck. She gets a metal plate embedded in her skull in order to survive. And this metal plate simply just makes her attracted to cars. Nothing too weird, nothing too out of the ordinary. She just loves cars and has sex with cars. She works at an underground car show and gets impregnated by a car. There's a whole car sex scene. It's weird. It's weird. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's weird. But she becomes pregnant with this car baby thing. It's scary. And you kind of just follow her through life as she's realizing she's pregnant with this car's baby. I believe she reconnects with her dad throughout the midst of it. I believe she tries to join an orgy in the midst of it with the star of Raw. I don't remember her name. She's in this movie. And I believe they're trying to be romantic. I believe they kiss. They almost kiss. Something's going on. But they don't. You never see her the rest of the movie. And then the main lady who's pregnant with the car, once, like I said, reconnects with her dad. And it's kind of where the movie ends. She's crying in his arms as they start to lose their skin around their stomach. And it's showing a metal baby. Like a metal baby bump. And it just ends. It's twisted. It's a thoughtful watch. I'm thinking about it so hard right now. I rate this movie a 9 out of 10, but I am just a sucker for these French films. The next one is Underwater with Kristen Stewart. I watched this one. not too long ago. I rated it not too long ago. This movie's scary, but I just have a fear of the ocean, the deep depths of the ocean. I like the beach, but I will not swim very far out. This movie follows an oil drilling team under the depths of the water. As something's lurking around outside, messing with their pipes, they have to go out and fix it. Stuff happens. It's scary. It's like that space horror movie, Life, but under the water. Very interesting and very scary for me. I like this movie because it scared me. Kristen Stewart is a great actress. Putting Twilight aside, that was a bad script. She has proven herself worthy time and time again, and this movie is no different. I think that people were underappreciative of this movie because the idea's been done before, but this movie's scary. It's terrifying. Honestly, the monsters are terrifying. They're like deep sea dementors from Harry Potter. And I liked it. 9 out of 10. It's a good movie. I would watch it probably again and again because it makes me scared, because it scares me. This next one is the trilogy of VHS. I know that there's 2 more on Shudder, and these 3 are fantastic. I love the VHS movies. They're anthologies. I suggest you watch them. I recommend them. Each of them are rated between an 8 and a 9.5 out of 10 because they're interesting, because they're catching your attention immediately, and because each new videotape that is played is a new idea with new people, new villains, new scary objects, monsters, whatever, with new ideas, and it's terrifying. Seriously, go watch VHS. VHS Viral, I believe, is the 3rd one. I love that one. The first 2 are classic, in my opinion. The next movie is We Need to Do Something. This is, I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. It's a thriller. It's a drama. They have it in the horror category, and I couldn't get through it. I think I got halfway through it. I think it's a 2-hour-long movie. I got halfway through it and was like, I can't do this anymore. Nothing's happening. It's about a family, a problematic family, and they're stuck in their house during, I believe, a tornado. Tree comes in through their house. They're all in the bathroom. The mom and the son are spending time together. The daughter's separated, trying to get a hold of her best friend or her boyfriend, one of the two. Dad's angry, as angry dads are. And they all kind of are just stuck together. And that's the whole movie dynamic. That's the whole movie. They're just stuck there, and they're forced to talk to each other and work through whatever issues they may have. Like I said, more of a thriller drama. Not sure why it's on like Hulu's horror movie list, because it's not scary. Unless parental confrontation is a phobia of yours. Let's see. The next one is Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage. My boyfriend and I rented this off of Redbox, but it is available on Hulu. And this movie was something. Essentially Five Nights at Freddy's, but Willy, it's Willy's Wonderland. That's the main guy, and Nick Cage is just this lone dude, and he rides into town in his car, and his car breaks down, and the sheriff pulls him over, says, "You got money?" Nick Cage is like, "No." He's like, "Well, we can tow you, but you gotta work for the tow." He's like, "Whatever." And so Nick Cage is thrown into this animatronic place, and they're like, "If you can clean the place up, you're home free, no worries." Nick Cage finds out that these animatronics are alive and fights them and kills them. And there's a whole other second storyline about these teenagers trying to uncover the truth about Willy's Wonderland, and they try to help Nick Cage get free. But Nick Cage is very much dead set on doing this work so that he does not owe this this police officer in this tow truck company anything. Nick Cage does not say a single word through this whole movie. And am I upset about it? Just a little bit. It's not a great movie. It's definitely a B film, and I may watch it again, but just for the sake of Nick Cage not talking and this being a movie. I'm gonna rate it a 5 out of 10. It's comedic. It has a good storyline. It's entertaining, but it's not great. The next movie is Wish Upon. I believe this is with Joey King, I believe. Yes, Joey King, 2017, and I believe she's grieving the loss of her mother. Her mother killed herself. She finds a magic box in the attic where her mom used to paint. This box gives her 7 wishes that will do whatever she wishes for, and she starts these wishes, and it turns out that every time she wishes something, someone dies or gets hurt, or something goes completely terribly wrong. Now, IMDb has this rated as a 5 out of 10. I'm going to rate it a 6, just because I like Joey King. This movie was entertaining. It was new at the time. And I think that 2015 to 2018 is the peak years for horror. Personal opinion. Because, Lights Out came out in 2015, and I love Lights Out. That's a great horror movie. But then, this movie came out. 2018's full of them. I believe the new Halloween remake came out in 2018. I believe. Yes. Anyways, 6 out of 10 for Wish Upon. It's one of those movies where if you don't have anything better to put on, it's worth a watch in that case. And the last movie on the list is Zombieland, another great watch. Easily 9 out of 10. That's a great movie. I love Zombieland. I will rewatch it time and time again. The cast is great. The idea is great. But I am just a sucker for zombie movies. And this one is easily one of my top 10 favorite zombie movies. So The Wheel has every other Hulu movie except for those ones. And what I do is, every other week or so, I spin the wheel, watch a movie. Just the other week, I watched Amish Witches, the true story of Holmes County. If you have seen Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, it's essentially the same thing. This movie came out first, before the next Paranormal Activity. But anyways, Amish Witches, the true story of Holmes County, is about a TV crew doing a documentary on the Holmes County Amish people and their community. This movie was scary. I'll admit it. I liked it. It did not do so well with anyone else. A lot of people just genuinely didn't like it. I think it's rated like a 4 out of 10 on IMDb. I wouldn't rate it that low. Honestly, I'd rate it a 5.5. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a great movie either. It's not 100% worth your time. Not sure if I am repeating myself, but if you're just looking for something to throw on while you're like folding laundry, while you're doing household chores, homework, whatever, throw this movie on. It's not one that you 100% need to pay attention to, but it's not one that you don't want to pay attention to either. Okay, what I really want to cover is if Hulu is the best source for horror movies. Personally, I think it's a good source for horror movies. I wouldn't say it's the best, just because it's not a great, it's not a great example. It's not a great selection. Some of the movies that I'm excited to see on Hulu are Along Came the Devil, The ABCs of Death, The Box. They just put Christine and Dreamcatcher on there. I'm excited to rewatch those ones. I love Dreamcatcher. I think it's a cheesy, corny Stephen King film, but it's still, like, it holds a special place in my heart. I've heard a lot of people talk about Dashcam. I think that the people who watched Dashcam and enjoyed it are the same people who watched, what is it called? Skinamarink. I think that the people that liked Dashcam will like Skinamarink and vice versa. I just don't think that it's, like, goes a whole lot of places from what I've heard. Let's see. They also have The Exorcist on Hulu. Those are good movies. Let's see. I'm not really sure how many like movies on Hulu actually went to theaters. Two other ones that I'm excited about are The Lodge and Marrowbone. And My Bloody Valentine. I know that one is kind of like a fan favorite. My parents watched No Exit. They said it was alright. There's a whole list. I will probably honestly put the link to this wheel in the Instagram so that you guys can also go through if you're just having a slow day, having a boring night. Pick on this wheel, spin it, whatever. Watch yourself a little B film and let me know what you think. Is it worth my time? I don't know. We'll find out. I think that is everything that I have for this episode. But look forward to the next episode. I believe I'm going to be talking about the Scream series. We're actually going to get started on talking about movies individually and in series. And I'm really excited to start that. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time.